Could you tell us like what was like a life in a day of an economist reporter, or like a reporter in general? I mean, what would you do on a daily basis? Like, let's say what time do you wake up, and what's the next thing that you do?
I used to, I really, so I spent, I did two internships at a trading floor actually at Citadel. And I was glad, actually, there's a world in which I work there. And the reporting thing, in a way, happened as an accident because of COVID and campus was closed. And so I was like, what should I do before school opens? So I did this internship at The Economist and I absolutely loved it. And that's how I ended up working there full time. One of the reasons I would say I love it, you have freedom over what you do, where you do it, and when you do it. I didn't have to wake up early. I could set my own schedule. So that was wonderful. So I would wake up when I wanted to, and then the life cycle of a story is you're basically trying to do what I described to you before, which is observe from a number of different sources. So you're talking to people, you're looking at data, you're reading as much as possible from all the different sources, everything from books to news articles to Twitter. And then you're coming up with a question, that you want to pitch to your editor, ideally with some elements of what the story will contain. And then you tell your editor, when I first joined, I would come with multiple pitches, right? I have many pitches and we talk about it and we figure out which one is best. Once I had some experience, my editors basically trusted my ideas much more. And I basically just kind of know what I wanted to work on. I just give them a heads up and I'd go ahead and work on it. And then you actually go out and you report. You try to talk to people who are at the frontier of that field and you want all the different angles. You want to talk to people from industry, people from government, academics, people on the ground, regular everyday people, and you want to get different views. And so then you can triangulate your point of view that sort of brings together all the points of view in the world. And so you're spending most of your time setting up conversations, talking to people, reading things, looking at data, and you're going back and forth between all of this. And you do that probably for most of your time. And then you have a big dump of notes. You have like many, many pages of notes and everything's in context. And then you write. And writing usually happens pretty quickly, but it's pretty intense. So it takes like a day or two, depending on the piece, maybe longer for a longer piece. And you're just kind of word vomiting. You're putting everything on the page. And then you're editing. And editing, actually, that's the biggest difference for me, between writing in college or writing casually versus writing professionally. It's the share of time I spent editing was much higher at The Economist, because your first draft is never the final draft, right? You're going to get so much feedback. You're going to dislike what you wrote at first and you're going to revise it over and over again. And then you send it to your editors. You get a first round of comments, structural comments like, hey, this is missing from the piece. Go out and talk to those people. Hey, I don't understand this data. You address all the structural comments, and then finally you submit a draft that's ready for copy edits, and they'll actually like copy edit the piece. They'll make sure that it fits with the Economist style guide. Some editors at the Economist are very hands-on. Sometimes they will rewrite your piece if they don't like how you wrote it. Obviously the content will be what you submitted, but the actual structure might be quite different. And then it's published, and then you move on to the next thing.